If you were around in the 1990s or the 2000s, you were able to experience a type of magic that only comes around once in a generation.
Fish are friends, not food.
Being able to experience the growth of groundbreaking technology does so much in terms of fulfillment and excitement for a society that you really can't replicate anywhere else. Specifically when it comes to gaming, the time between 1990 and 2010 had some of our culture's most iconic moments.
Damn, I'm looking good.
Think about being introduced to video games on Atari playing Pong or Nintendo with Mario, and then now be playing Fortnite or games like Red Dead Redemption 2. That amount of growth is actually mind-boggling. With the introduction of VR, it gets even crazier. Take competitive play, for example. I remember when my dad and I first hooked up two PCs to play one another on Red Alert. That felt like the greatest moment of my life.
Dad, I love you.
I still remember the exact moment we realized we could finally do it. And now fast forward to today, and kids are playing with other kids across the entire world. The growth is mind-boggling. Then of course you had LAN parties. For me specifically, Halo was the first LAN party game I ever played, and man, those were competitive. Everyone bringing their Xboxes in, getting as many TVs in the room as possible, setting them up so you can't screen look. It was some of the most fun times of my childhood. And you have to think about the level of effort it took to make these happen. You had to take your Xbox from your house to their house. You had to set it up. You had to find the TVs. You had to find the time. Everyone had to get their schedules to line up.
But imagine how tired we are.
It was just so much more fulfilling. These days with Xbox Live, you just pop it in and everyone's there. And if you can't play with your friends, you play with strangers. And then you had the introduction to Xbox Live, and nothing was ever the same. The car ride home from school, waiting to play Halo 2 online, Team Slayer. But with this introduction of the internet and Xbox Live came some of the most toxic lobbies you'll ever see.
You're not cool, big dog.
Going from a time where if you said something at a LAN party, you got slapped in the face, to where you could say whatever you wanted and nobody had any idea who you were, things definitely escalated.
That escalated quickly.
Some of those early Call of Duty and Halo lobbies had some of the most toxic things said I've ever heard. The post-game lobbies in Halo 2 where you had 60 seconds to talk to the opposing team, I think there should be a Guinness Book of World Record to how many insults and curse words you can say in a 60-second span. It was actually impressive, but also very damning on the future of our society. Friendships during these LAN parties always hung in the balance. And now, since then, video gaming has kind of plateaued. Internet speeds have kind of plateaued.
Disappointed!
Games like Call of Duty, who changed the landscape with every new franchise, seem to be extremely dull. The energy, the magic, the excitement, it isn't there. Why?
Why?
Seems like so many companies now are just trying to reskin their old ideas and old games to new generations who think they haven't seen it yet. But the reality is, if something's old to a market, it's old to a market.
Let's go.
Sports games, Madden, FC. See, they changed that name because we were bored of it. 2K, the games just don't hit like they used to. I haven't heard anyone talk about a sports game since like 2015.
Because he has 4 rings.
And Halo now is basically extinct. I don't like saying that, so don't get mad at me. And even Battle Royales seem to be kind of fading away. Even Fortnite, the game that has stayed at the very top, unlike any other game has in history, is slowly losing its way. But with the introduction of Chapter 5, they are seeing record numbers, so we'll see how that goes. Now compare that. Think about the difference in growing up in a world where every new thing was the next biggest, craziest thing, and it led to more excitement about the next thing. Yes! Now compare that to growing up in a society where every new thing feels like it's a copy of the last thing, and there's no excitement about what's to come.
I want to know.
That difference in energy will end up changing these generations to be completely different. Being pessimistic and optimistic are massive reasons whether or not a generation is successful. If you remove people's pride of who they are, they're not going to work hard. They're not going to care about what's happening. So how do we get that back? How do we bring back the magic? Because